Hey YouTube, how's it going? It's Quentin here, and welcome to tutorial number 19. And in this tutorial, we are going to take a look at the collapse feature that we have available in Bootstrap. And it's really awesome for hiding and showing content. So as you can see in my browser, I have a button, and when I click on it, it shows me this div with some content in it, and when I click on it again, it hides the div. So it's really awesome, and it's got a bunch of other uses as well. If you take a look at getbootstrap.com's website, on the JavaScript page, they have an accordion example. So you click on the titles or the panel titles, and it hides and shows the content inside of the panels, which is really cool. It's a nice little feature to have on websites nowadays. And yeah, let's take a look at how to actually implement this. So we have a div at the moment, or I have a div with a class or container. I've got my row and I've got a column, and it's a fairly short column, but I figured like it looked good for the tutorial just to have a short column over here. Okay, so let's take a look at what we need. And of course we need a button, because that's exactly what you see there. And the next element below that was actually a div with some content, like I mentioned. And I'm going to give my button some text. So let's just say some text, or click me, or whatever you want to say on your button. And inside your div, this is where you're going to put your content. So content goes here. Right. Awesome. Sorry, excuse me for the hiccup. But now, there we go. We have our button and we have our div. And now we need to actually tie these two together. And the way we're going to do that is with a class and an ID on this div. So let's go give this div a class of collapse. And that's just setting it up to be collapsed. And it's actually necessary to have that class. And then the next attribute I want to give this div is an ID. And I'm going to set that equal to content. Right, so it's important to remember this ID because we're going to use it in just a second. So now we need to go over to this button, and we need to start adding some attributes to this button. And I'm going to add a class, and this is really just there to make the button look pretty. We'll give it a class of btn and btn-primary, and that just makes a blue button that doesn't do anything. So to actually make this button function, we have to add a few other classes. So I'm going to add data-toggle, a few other attributes, not a few other classes. And I'm going to set data-toggle equal to collapse. So that just means that when this button is clicked, it needs to toggle the collapse class, or the collapse function, and that is going to make or give us this effect where the div opens and closes. It like kind of slides down. So that is what that's there for. You'll notice on the drop down menus that we'll be using in the previous tutorials, we had data toggle always set to drop down, and it just kind of made the drop down appear instantly. Okay, so now that we've got that done, let's take a look at the next attribute, which is going to be data-target. And this is the target for this button. So what, like if collapse is what the button has to do, then data-target is which content needs to be collapsed, or which element needs to be collapsed. And the way we do that is we take the ID of this div and we place it in data target over here. And then we also need to just make sure we add a hash before the ID name, or the ID, because what happens is this then passes this content or the ID name to jQuery. And whenever you're referencing something in jQuery, you use a hash. And so it's the same over here. Whenever you're referencing something with an ID, you use a hash. Right, so now that we've got all of this, let me hit save, and I'm going to come back here and hit refresh. And you can see that now I've got a button that says some text instead of click me. And when I click on it, it hides and shows the content underneath, which is cool. But it doesn't quite look the same as the example I just showed you. So in order to get it looking exactly the same, if you guys want to, you can have another div inside here with a class of well, and that has to be spelled correctly, unfortunately. And then you just throw whatever content you have inside there. Hit save, and my code didn't disappear. I just have a really long line that goes off the screen. Great. So let's hit refresh, and now you can see the content that's getting hidden and shown looks exactly like my example. And yeah, I guess that's all I have for this tutorial. So thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Feel free to leave a comment, like, and share this video. It's really going to help my channel grow, and I'll see you guys next time.